This is Sibongile Ziambo with the news, the headlines. President Chakwera vouches his determination to see an end to all forms of abuse against children. Malawi to receive over 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of September this year. Over 20 companies registered to participate in the Dubai World Expo to run from October 2021 to March 2022. And in sports, beach soccer national team coach to be unveiled in August after expiry of Stuart Gonde's contract. Thank you for joining me. Now the news in detail. President Lazarus Chakwera has described as disgraceful all forms of violence against children within Malawi and across Africa, saying his Tonse government is determined to see an end to the vice. The president was speaking during a virtue of high-level Pan-African conference on violence against children, where he says countries need to share tools for promotion of safety of the African child. He said it is a pity to see continued violence against children despite countries endorsing international laws on ending the vice. We have this report from Western Guda.
Speaking during a Pan-African conference on violence against children, President Lazarus Chakwera said the country is doing more and has so far amended laws, for example, on who should be described as a minor from 16 to 18 years old. He said that Malawi has a comprehensive plan on the issue, including the setting up of a helpline that has seen an increase in the number of reported cases. He has, however, appealed to African countries to join hands in the fight by sharing tools that can assist the African child to be in a safe environment and the safest in the world. He mentioned of some growing gaps in legal frameworks that need to be worked on, lack of cybersecurity enforcement and inadequate child protection workers.
This is a task that we are determined to see done. We are determined to set the pace in keeping children safe from predators. As the chair of this 46-member group of least developed countries, we are determined to ensure Malawi is an exemplary safe place for children through the continued implementation of the Program of Action and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
Meanwhile, child rights activist Jennifer Mkandawire says Malawi has a long way to go as we have a challenge in making policies workable, as well as lack of resources, which sometimes lead to cases swept under the carpet.
Within the rural areas, there is nowhere to report. If they report at a police station or unit, the response mechanism is a very big challenge because for children to go to court, there is no one to defend them.
The high-level conference focused specifically on the capacity to address violence against children, the progress Africa has made thus far in addressing the vice, and the homegrown initiatives that have been effective in reducing the vice in Africa. Reporting for Zodiak, I am Western Guta.
Meanwhile, government has ordered that vulnerable children in various care centers should not be reintegrated before they are mature and ready to go back home, although their parents are traceable. The initiative, which was introduced in 2019 by the DPP regime, targeted children whose parents or relatives are alive to mandatory move from orphanages back to their homes. Minister of Gender, Children, Disability and Social Welfare, Patricia Kaliati, said only children who have completed tertiary education or those whose parents or relatives are willing to have them back to their homes will be allowed to do so. Zodiak has established that by the end of September this year, Malawi will have received 1,010,800 doses of various COVID-19 vaccines, among them AstraZeneca, Johnson & Johnson and Pfizer. Ministry of Health has confirmed that the country will receive 192,000 doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine this coming Saturday, 24th July, through Kamuzu International Airport in Lilongwe. Meanwhile, Minister responsible Kumbize Kandori Chiponda says statistics reveal that 99% of people hospitalized and are dying of COVID-19 at the moment are those that are not vaccinated. She said our ministry wants to achieve 60% herd immunity by next year to minimize serious illnesses, hospital admissions and deaths. Meanwhile, the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 has called for consideration and adoption of permanent strategies on COVID-19 management, as it is not certain when the pandemic will be eliminated. A member of the task force, Commissioner Boniface Massa, says time to ask for temporary support is over, as countries are registering wave after wave of the pandemic. He said this in Mulanje on Thursday after appreciating strides different stakeholders are making in fighting against the disease. Hessins Jumani reports.
As the COVID-19 third wave continues to wreak havoc and cause panic among people across the world, a member of the Malawi Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Commissioner Boniface Massa, says time to ask for temporary support is over. Commissioner Massa said stakeholders should consider adopting permanent strategies for COVID-19 management, as the world is uncertain as to when the pandemic will end.
We know we identified some gaps, and also they also shared with us some challenges. But overall, what is critical is we have seen some positive responses from the councils, permanent structures for managing flow of patients. We would want to see more of such a model of facilities, because the pandemic is there and we should now start thinking of a permanent response to the pandemic.
Director of Health and Social Services at Mulanje District Council, Dr. Alinafe Kalanga, while applauding the coordination among different partners in COVID-19 management, registered a concern on stock out of antibiotics such as ceftriaxone and anticoagulants that have proven to be crucial in the management of COVID-19 patients.
Learning from the cases that we've been admitting in our treatment unit, we have realized that we need new medications, especially these are the anticoagulants. They are mostly needed to these patients to avoid the embolism that could kill them faster. So through the Presidential Task Force that visited us today, we are lobbying that if these drugs could be made available to our exposure so that we can help patients accordingly.
The task force visited Mulanje District Hospital, Mulanje Mission Hospital, and Muloza Border Post. As of Wednesday, Mulanje had registered 875 COVID-19 confirmed cases, 38 deaths, and 643 recoveries. For Zodiak in Mulanje, this is Hastings Jimani reporting.
Wednesday's firing of Dr. Chikosa Silungwe as Chief Legal Advisor for the government continues to attract mixed reactions from the public. The Malawi Law Society President Patrick Mpaka holds the view that so far Silungwe had been doing his job well, but the president may have had other reasons which at law he's entitled not to disclose. But he says there must have been one of these three reasons which are prescribed in the law.
There are also contractual issues that we need to think about, because if the person, the Attorney General himself, doesn't want to fight on the issue, maybe we can't force it. Because imagine that we take up an issue and the person is not willing to take up the issue. So it will take the Attorney General himself also saying maybe we want to contest this or not. But from what I have seen from the papers and the social media, it looks like there is no contest. And so we appreciate that there are also contractual issues, but as an institution, we would have appreciated also to know the reason, because there are three grounds there that can be used: incompetence, that is compromise, or impartiality. So these are matters which, if they had come out, would have helped us even in terms of managing the rest of the issues, because the Honorable Chikosa Silungwe remains a member of the Law Society.
The Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority, PPDA, has unveiled plans to establish open contracting and electronic procurement initiatives to curb fraud in procurement procedures in the country. PPDA Chairperson John Suzibanda told the media and civil society in Blantyre this Thursday that it is worrisome that a few families control government-related procurement in the country. And still in business, Inspector General of Police George Kainja has hinted on the need to protect workers from unscrupulous money lending institutions that rip off borrowers through high interest rates. Speaking at the National Police Headquarters in Lilongwe on Thursday, at the end of the Police SACCO annual general meeting, Kainja appealed for a spirit of saving from not only police officers for financial independence and progress. Registrar in Cooperatives in the Ministry of Industry, Whiskas Mkombezi, concurs with Kainja that normally workers tend to get advances and loans that do not benefit their welfare, hence the need to join SACCOs. Officers from the Department of Immigration and Citizenship Services have threatened to stop operations should the department decide not to address some of their grievances. According to a leaked letter addressed to the Director General, the officers are, among others, demanding promotion of officers and setting up of a service commission. Anna Femlamba filed this report.
A leaked document addressed to the Director General for the Department of Immigration and Citizenship Services, written by the Immigration Department concerned staff, which is in our possession. The officers are demanding what they are terming as an urgent attention from their bosses to address their grievances. On the list of the grievances, the officers are demanding urgent promotion of officers, further alleging that the Minister of Homeland Security, Richard Shimwendo Banda, ordered that officers from the department be promoted by 1st July, but this has not happened yet. Still on the promotions, the officers are demanding objectivity in the manner in which they are to be carried out based on academic and professional experience. Further than that, the officers are also calling for the establishment of an Immigration Department Service Commission, and they also want to see an end to what they are calling an strategic transferring of officers. When contacted for response, Director General for the department, Hannings Mlota, told Zodiak the department is yet to get this document. However, spokesperson for the department, Wellington Jibonde, said that the officers should follow relevant channels to address their grievances. The officers have since threatened that they will stop rendering services such as revenue collection should their demands not be addressed.
And you're watching news on Zodiac. We'll be right back shortly. Stand by.
We all start differently, but we can all start with the strongest protection. Because some start early, others start late. Some from little homes, others from big ones. Some start together, or all on their own.
It doesn't matter how you start, as long as you start strong. With new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection. Now with fluoride plus arginine for 4 times more strengthening power. So that you can give them the strongest start to their day. Colgate. Start strong, stay strong.
Muntu mmodzi payekha sangamange mudzi, koma anthu angapo kubwera pamodzi timati uwu nde mudzi. Pamodzi tili ndi kuthekera kobweretsa chitukuko mdera lathu. Network yathu ya Chimalawi ya TNM yakhala ikuthandiza madera ambiri mu njira zosiyanasiyana. Komano pano TNM ikufuna kupitiriza ntchitoyi mogwirizana ndi ife eni ake amudzi. Ndinkani yabweretsa TNM mudzi wathu. Mukagwiritsa ntchito TNM poimba foni, kutumiza ma SMS, kugwiritsa ntchito internet, kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mpamba, chaka chilichonse TNM idzipereka 1% kapena 1 kwacha pa 100 kwacha iliyonse ya ndalama zomwe yapanga kuti ithandizire pa chitukuko chomwe anthu akufuna mdera lawo. Tikabwera pamodzi ndi kugwirizana chimodzi, tikhonza kupanga zazikulu mmudzi wathu. TNM mudzi wathu. Umodzi unamanga mtolo. Ndondomeko zidzatsatidwa.
UNICAF University, July to August 2021 intake. Special scholarships available at UNICAF University for bachelor, master's and doctoral degree programs. UNICAF University is accredited nationally by the NCHE and internationally by the British Accreditation Council in the UK. Enroll for internationally recognized degrees at a fraction of the cost. Feel safe knowing that your online studies with UNICAF University will not be disrupted by measures for the pandemic. From enrollment to graduation, everything runs smoothly online. Don't miss this golden opportunity. This offer is valid until the end of August 2021. So, apply today and get a free tablet when you register and pay the required deposit. Ring 01755 or WhatsApp 0993 907002 for more information.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue the news. President Chakwera vouches his determination to see an end to all forms of abuse against children. Malawi to receive over 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of September this year. Over 20 companies registered to participate in the Dubai World Expo to run from October 2021 to March 2022. In sports, beach soccer national team coach to be unveiled August after expiry of Stereo Gondwe's contract. Moving on with the news. In business, the Ministry of Trade has announced that Malawi will participate at the Dubai World Expo, which is expected to attract investors from about 192 countries from October 2021 to March 2022. Addressing the media in Lilongwe, Minister of Trade Sosten Gwengwe said a total of 25 local companies have already shown interest to participate, but his ministry wants the figure to reach 50. The minister also announced that Malawi shall host a virtual domestic investment forum on 5th August this year. Winston Kaimira reports.
Minister of Trade Sosten Gwengwe is hopeful that the forthcoming Dubai World Expo 2020 shall assist Malawi to attract more investors and promote the tourism industry. He told the media in Lilongwe that about 25 local companies have shown interest to participate, but his ministry wants the figure to double. He said Malawi's participation at the Dubai Expo shall include hosting a national day on 20th November 2021, which shall be presided over by President Lazarus Chakwera. According to the minister, such forums have so far assisted increasing the number of investors coming into the country.
The business forums are indeed paying off. But I would say that in this country, we over-report imports, but we under-report our exports. There are other exports beyond tobacco that are doing really well.
Gwengwe also announced that Malawi shall host the Domestic Investment Forum on 5th August this year. He said the virtual forum shall bring together local investors with special focus on agriculture, agro-processing and manufacturing. Malawi Investment and Trade Center Board Chairperson Carl Chokoto emphasized on the need to have the participation of more local companies during the two events.
On the one side, we get investments in the country. As part of the exhibition there, we will also be projecting the compendium of projects that we have in Malawi, those that have feasibility studies.
The Dubai World Expo 2020 is expected to attract the participation of 192 countries and 25 million visitors who include tourists. Meanwhile, the Minister of Trade says a bill is being formulated to come up with a list of exporters of various products to address the challenge of underreporting on exports. This is Winston Kaimira reporting for Zodiak.
In environment, expectations are high that the protection of wildlife at Lengwe National Park and Mwavi Wildlife Reserve will improve after a 2-week refresher course for game rangers from the two entities. Deputy Director for National Parks and Wildlife, William Ngola, says the training the rangers have received matches with modern trends in wildlife protection. From Chikwawa, he is Masozi Kasambara with the report.
Apart from ensuring that no species extinguishes, national parks and wildlife reserves are a huge source of tourism among many other benefits. Wildlife-related crimes, however, continue being a threat to nature. In a quest to arrest the situation, authorities are introducing various initiatives. Here in the Shiri Valley, for example, game rangers from Lengwe National Park and Mwavi Wildlife Reserve have undergone a 2-week refresher course to sharpen their skills. Deputy Director for National Parks and Wildlife Reserve, William Mugola, stresses the significance of the training.
Because we want to deter poaching. Yes, there are a number of efforts that have been undertaken to address poaching, but still there are gaps in terms of poaching, especially Lengwe National Park. You know, Lengwe National Park is a big area. It's around 807 square kilometers. It makes a border with Mozambique, and there are issues of logging, which we are noticing, and therefore we need to impart the skills, illegal logging that is, we need to impart the skills and knowledge to our rangers, and not only that, also issues of animal poaching.
On his part, Shire Valley Transformation Program Project Coordinator, Dr. Steneja Kumbira Kaira, whose organization provided technical support, says community engagement is of paramount importance in wildlife protection.
If you engage the community, they will be able to know the people that are involved and they can, provide information to them to make them know that this is not good.
During the Pass Out parade, Margaret Campbell was named as the best performer throughout the 2-week training period. She says the training is a stepping stone towards achievement in protection of wildlife. Lengwe National Park faces challenges of poachers and loggers, even from Mozambique, as it is on the border side. For Zodiac, Masos Kasambala reporting from Chikwawa.
We now go to sports news. The Beach Soccer Association of Malawi says a new coach for the national team will be hired next month following the expiry of Stereo Gondwe's contract. Coincidentally, Gondwe is serving Malawi Defense Force soldier. He's on a military duty in the Democratic Republic of Congo and is expected to return home next year. The association's president, Gift Chimbalanga, has told us the technical subcommittee has been advised to start the process of recruiting a new coach to be hired ahead of the Copa Dar es Salaam tournament in Tanzania at the end of this year. Sambanda has the details.
Chimbalanga says the firm has given its nod to the process of recruiting a new coach for the national beach soccer team to replace Stereo Gondwe, whose contract runs out in the next few days and is currently on military duties in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Beach soccer leagues are underway in all the 5 centers in Karonga, Chinteche, Nkotakota, Salima and Mangochi. And Chimbalanga says the new coach will be provided with all the necessary support during the scouting of players ahead of the Copa Dar es Salaam tournament in Tanzania at the end of this year.
We cannot wait all this long up to July next year. We are going to come up with a very, very good coach again. And then we are looking forward that we should really interview 2 or 3 more so that we can come up with a coach. We would want to see that the coach has been recruited early. So it's a process which is on now, and then we initiated it some time ago. But we're surely looking at that when we're going for Copa Dar es Salaam in December. We should have a coach by then. The game of beach soccer has rules different to the mainstream football. So we are looking for a coach who is able. We are not going to look for somebody who is going to learn the game when we actually are in the process.
Stereo Gondwe, who also had stints with Malawi Defense Force football outfits MAFCO and Red Lions respectively, was hired as national beach soccer team head coach in 2018 and led the team to the semi-finals of the Copa Dar es Salaam a year later. During his tenure, he had Wile Kumilambe, Edwin Banda and Wakisa Mwambetania in his backroom staff.
That's about what we had time for in this edition of news, and before we go, a look at the headlines. President Chakwera vouches his determination to see an end to all forms of abuse against children. Malawi to receive over 1 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines by the end of September this year. Over 20 companies registered to participate in the Dubai World Expo to run from October 2021 to March 2022. In sports, beach soccer national team coach to be unveiled in August after expiry of Stereo Gondwe's contract. Visit our website zodiacmalai.com for more news. This is Sibongile Ziambo. Thank you for watching and goodbye.